Yo, here is how you deal with the Gragas matchup as Tryndamere. So you wanna go Grasp, not Hail of Blades, just because if he presses his E, once you basic attack him, you're gonna lose your Hail of Blades completely, so that's gonna be useless into him. Same way as Lethal Tempo cannot be reliably stacked into his phase rush, so for short trades we're gonna take Grasp. I know it a little bit, it stays in the way. Demolish, generic stuff, Second Wind, Overgrowth. Legend, Bloodline, something new. I'm limit testing last stand, and the rest of the shards are just, generic attacks with attack damage, HP scaling. So, level 1, it's important how we play it out. So, let's see. Gragas could E or Q start. Both of them are reasonable, but normally you should just aim for a nice Q start because he could get Grasp traded into if he E starts. And again, there is a reason why I basic attack this minion. Because if you basic attack a backline minion and you walk back, if you guys noticed, all three of them are hitting the same minion, so what does this even mean? He can't reliably, if I want to slow push, which I want to do, he can't reliably queue all of the minions. He has to actually get only one with his Q, which is a problem because this Q costs a lot of mana, so Gragas does have mana problems as well in laning phase itself. Now in here I did actually miss one minion by accident, but look, I spin through the wave really quick, and this was not lethal damage, that's the thing. So this minion would just simply not die, so he couldn't even pop his Q in time. And again, we're gonna put pressure on him. So we know for a reason, hitting the minion perfectly, we know for a reason he doesn't have his E now, and we can actually just walk into his face because we have some fury, and he has no E to deny us because he Q started. Now, that's already nice, we're already getting some nice grass procs and saturating his mana. Now, as a matter of fact, I did take D-Blade. Maybe I could have mentioned it in theory, but just saying I did take it. In case someone was curious of what's like the option. Now, again, in here you want to go for a very quick spin, basic in close range. Because if you're in close range, it's harder for him to react instantly with an E. Which means that if you get your basic attack off with Grasp, without Grasp, don't spin in, I would say. Then yes, that does actually like justify the fact that you spinned in and hit you. So I would say like for long range these you shouldn't necessarily go, just because you can like very easily cancel it and you will not get your basic off. So that can sometimes you can even cancel your E damage actually, because basically like his E could sort of like bounce off. I don't even know how to explain hitbox of the minions, so it just cancels your E, so you don't actually do anything with that then. Again, in here we are just saturating his mana properly, and so that's what's very important to like kind of like deal with, is that once he has out of mana, this is fine as well. So you only spin for a basic, which I'm not getting the best crit RNG if you guys noticed with these basic attacks, but that's fine. We are actually having a CS advantage, and he's soon forced to recard. This guy also plays base kits for some apparent reason. Now he is low on mana and he can't find lethal damage into us. That's like very important to understand. So it's kind of a shitty ultimatum for him. I even spin through him, not in front of him, through him, so he cannot actually get a nice E angle into me. So it's easier to swing in a basic after. And in here 2 points in E if you guys noticed, which means that this E does 40 more damage, 1 less second cooldown. And so the important thing to understand is that this game I'm not really getting the best crit RNG. But the important thing to understand is that we have a CS advantage, that's already seen as a good thing, right? Now, notably, we also took a plate, so it's also seen as a nice thing, right? And we skip a teensy bit forward. Now, my wave clear is super fast, it's super good. And because Echo's clear is delayed and Gragas is stuck on the wave, seemingly doesn't rotate for me, I get to take this. If Gragas would rotate after me once I go to proxy, you should leave. And here I'm messing around. Oh, that was a fat crit, right? That was a really fat crit. I'm messing around a little bit with Ekoga. And now what I'm trying to do is just to like spin on his thingy. I stole 2 of these, but then I walked into his W, so that was a bit of a bummer. Because Gragas will flash on me, and I couldn't spin away, I just didn't like spin away for fun. No, it wasn't actually up, Couldn't flash away to be fair, but yeah. It was a bit greedy on my part, but he did lose some degree of CS for, such behavior, so, there is like that upside as well. We still have a nice CS advantage. We did die, but we did get his flash, which is something. Particularly Kane did actually manage to steal his red just because I chipped this echo down, so it was very risky for him to commit for his red, so he recalled. So in some sense, like, it could be played out better, but this is like fine-ish, you know. Now, if you get to buy Tiamat, you should go Tiamat first item. Vamp Scepter is also fine. I would say go Vamp Scepter if you basically, the idea is if you don't get to like buy Tiamat, but you guys can see the sustain is super nice. And you gotta think about it, because we have lifesteal from Bloodline, when you're critting, you're gonna heal so much actually, it's unreal. It's really nice. Lifesteal, by the way, can triple dip on crits on your ghouls. So just saying, just trying to like space bait, sort of fishing for like mistakes from Gragas by sidestepping. And as far as you guys notice, he's out of TP, he's out of fuel, he's out of mana, even though he has tier. But many Gragas players will not play tier. This build is not often seen where people go tier. Usually they go like lower mana management, you know, stuff. But that's fine. And now, as we can see, basically, I should actually put a point in my W. It was a bit of a mistake on my part to like not skill it, but it should be fine because regardless we will proxy. And now I'm really trying not to proxy here. As far as we notice, he does lose some degree of CS, but it does seem like based on his body language, this guy could be here. So what am I doing here? Because he all-ins me, I'm actually baiting him towards me. So he actually loses more CS. It's kind of smart. So you walk up, right? And you're gonna fake fight, you're gonna spin away when he goes in, and he loses more CS this way, more XP, right? So it kinda does actually matter, because Gragas' Q, right, it does scale quite nicely up big points as well, if you think about it. So like XP zoning early on does also like matter, even though like some time did pass. The basic did go up before he managed to ease, that's like very important to point out. But I think in here we're gonna get ganked or something, I don't know. Seem like Echo is around. Let's see what happens. I think I'm warding if I'm correct. Gragas will die apparently in the future. So he did want to gank me, but I think he assumed it's warded, So it's a bit hard to gank me. Messed up his E, and now he is forced to war, otherwise I will chunk him. And as you guys can see, sometimes it sucks a little bit not having that point in your W, but oh well. Now again, like we are zoning him off from 3 last hits. And as far as you guys noticed, he messed something up. He has flashless, if you guys remember. Last time he flashed on me, and now it's my turn to flash on him, if it makes sense. So if you guys remember, yes, one time I spared my flash, I didn't flash away from his E-flash, right? But now we managed to flash on him and get his plates, right? So that's just all about reviewing, and this gets way easier once you get more and more and more lifesteal. You'd like it's really important for you to hit grubs as well, because you're gonna get like 3 stacks for Legend Bloodline, and once you stack it up completely, you're gonna get 85 HP. So it's interesting Bloodline on it's considerable. Maybe I should try it into Yorick as well. It's considerable. If your champion does like a lot of damage on basic attacks, if it doesn't, it becomes more questionable, you know. Although alacrity, I can somewhat feel the lack of alacrity, I'ma be real, but it doesn't like feel as bad, especially if it does kind of like scale up a little bit, because the healing just becomes kind of unbearable actually for Gragas. Spinning through him. But that wasn't really the best spin, because you know, if he reacts in time, he could banny me into his barrel, so I was a bit just checking his reaction times if he can still hit his EQ, but yeah, it's not in particular practical what I did. And you see, again, we are just like sidestepping, fishing for errors, and we didn't manage to get our basic attack off before he like tosses us away. Now the healing becomes progressively higher the lower HP you are, because then you get more physical damage, of course, from Tryndamere's Q. So that's why like life steal is super nice. Not only that you're critting, you gain more AD. So also second wind does heal you more, by the way, the lower you are. So it's kind of like it becomes very annoying to kill you when like I'm not even going that low, but when you're lower, you're more annoying to be killed, if it makes sense. So in here I'm also trying to get the whole tower, but I'm getting a bit. I didn't expect this Yasuo gang, but God, he arced from very far, and I did fight him, but I assumed I'm gonna get more reinforcements. So this was like a little bit on me. Then I even get echoed, and it's gone like a bit wrong on my part. It was a bit of a misplay to not respect this. Was a bit unexpected, this Yasuo roam. Then slowly I think we're gonna get, like at this point we get reganked by Lulu. And then slowly we're gonna get the first tower eventually. Second tower actually, because so basically I got ganked and by Lulu or something. And basically like then my bot lane got the first tower, which is also fine because Ashe is really good with items, so like she's like her Q really scales up super nicely with AD. So you kinda took the gank, and you can see like you can manage to perform really well despite of you know, getting ganked here and there, not getting any good ganks on our side, but still you'll be able to you know, perform. And so in here I'm getting gatekeeped a bit by Lulu. She's still hovering quite a lot actually, like that was a bit greedy on my part. I think I clearly saw her devarding. I just assumed after a certain point she maybe just... And in here my spin got cancelled, so I think even her hovering wouldn't be that big of a deal if my spin wouldn't be cancelled there, I would say, if anything. But yeah. Now the good thing is that Gaby salvages the situation super nicely, so at least I'm getting the wave. And this way it's harder for Gragas to get played while, because his W does really do a lot of damage into structures. A lot of damage into structures. Now, as far as you guys noticed, we did die, a bit unfortunate. Not quite having the... Actually, now we have Ravenous, so our sustain is even more disgusting. And this thing, by the way, it says that your lifesteal applies to this damage, right? So the lifesteal from Bloodline itself applies to this, if it makes sense. It's like 14 lifesteal already. And we have a gigantic shield. And with this gigantic shield it's like way easier to, like, you know, get the first tower, ignore Gragas perhaps, but I think he will arm me from correct or something. Skew popped most of my shit. In here I'm not spinning intentionally, just in case he cancels. And so in here I played it out more patiently. So basically I did play around his... he has Seraphs, by the way, he has Seraphs almost finished. Baiting out his abilities, then looking for a trade, but I should have spin to the side, not backwards, so that was a bit of a misplay on my part, because then it's easier to, like, basically, like, trade into him after, like, the spin itself, because I made too much distance in a negative way. And as I told you guys, like, your HP will barely move with this lifesteal setup, but the lower it goes, practically the much more you heal. So despite we are 1-3, we are still kind of dominating the matchup, and you're like, it's particularly really good though, because my bot is like really ahead, getting all the plates, first tower and all that value. And now we're gonna get our own tower as well soon. So we proc his Seraphs, and at this point he doesn't have R yet, but he will have it soon, so that's that. Spacing his R, and then we are looking for an all-in. I genuinely didn't expect this Tryndamere gang, but it just came handy, you know, like this time it really came like handy. Now the laning phase is over, so pretty much I really wanted to just sort of review the laning phase itself. How does it go, how do you deal with Gragas, and then that's it for now, guys. Destroying the first tower. Have a nice day, getting that mark soon if anyone is curious, then Yuntal. That's it for now, have a nice day.